Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode. I am super excited today because we have a featured guest. And as you already know, I only bring the best of the best. Today we have Jennifer Wilson, and she's gonna be sharing her story. She's gonna be sharing how she is overcoming all the obstacles in order for her to move forward and how she left her corporate job. And this is what this show is all about. If you are interested in learning how these wonderful entrepreneurs were able to move forward, shift their mentality, their mindset, and their identity, stay tuned because you do want to learn how they did it so you can do the same for you if you are looking to escape your 9 to 5. So I want to welcome Jennifer to the show. Jennifer, thank you so very much for being here with us. I am super excited to learn more about you, your journey, your background, because it is I love your energy. When we met, I was drawn to you and I was very excited for you to accept my invitation to be in the show. So please give us a brief background. What is your background? And tell us more about you and your business.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to be here. As you said, I started out in corporate America. So I worked over 15 years doing marketing, largely for large healthcare organizations like Johnson & Johnson. And I got used to the corporate life, 9 to 5 or more, travel a lot and progressed through my career, shifted roles. And I knew that I always wanted to do something more, but I was never quite sure what it was. I also, on the side, just to give a bit about myself, I love being active, and I was very active in the triathlon community, still am. I love pushing myself to see how much I can do, what I can achieve. So I was working this corporate 9 to 5 job. I was doing triathlons on the side. I think, honestly, that was my stimulation to kind of see and be able to push myself in ways that I couldn't. Long story short, I started to work for a new company. Things were good for a couple years, but things changed. The environment became more toxic. Teams were created. We weren't aligned internally on the same type of goals, which just created some hardship. And I became a version of myself that I really did not like. And I started to notice that I wasn't very happy. I wasn't myself anymore. I was complaining all the time to my husband about my job, which that's not what I want to be doing. No, not at all. And I would go to a meeting. I remember distinctly one time going to a meeting and I was short. I was just very disgruntled with the other person. And I got off the call and I realized, like, that is so not me. This is not my style. I knew something was happening, but didn't quite fully realize what it was. And honestly, it was burnout. And it was also just, I think, part of being in an environment where I couldn't be the best version of myself. And so it took quite a while for me to come to the realization that something had to change. Something needed to shift in my life. I needed to bring some more meaning, but I eventually got the courage and quit my 9 to 5 job, which is a very scary thing to do, but I knew I needed to do something different and pivoted into doing what I do now, which is coaching. So I coach triathletes, runners. Really, my passion is helping anyone who is new to, I would say, sport and or movement. I'm really passionate about helping women in particular find time to make movement part of their daily lives. And so I have a course that I've created, but I also do one-on-one coaching because I really want to encourage other people to make time for themselves and to reach for more that they probably a lot of times in the back of your head, you're like, I know there's more. I want to do a little bit more. I want to achieve a little bit more, but life happens and things are busy and it's super hard to prioritize yourself within everything that's going on. And so that's really my goal, is to help women find movement, but also in that process, work on their mindset really to change their life.
What is the name of your business?
So it's Jen Wilson Performance Programs. If you want to go to my website, it's Jen, JENN, Wilson.co, C-O, and you will find information about myself, but also about the program that I have, which is called Journey to 5K. It is a comprehensive program to get someone across a 5K finish line A lot of programs just give you how many miles to run or how much time, but no one's really created a comprehensive program that talks about what kind of shoes do I need or what about sports bras. But if you're not comfortable when you're running, you're going to be miserable and then you're not going to want to do it. So this program is designed to give you really what is years of things that I have learned all pulled into an 8-week program so that you have all of the knowledge as an experienced runner would have to really enjoy the process. And I layer in mindset techniques and tips so that you can both physically and mentally train to get across the finish line. But as you do that journey, all of those skills and everything you learn is transferable really into life. So that's the goal.
Jen, I think I'm going to become your next client.
I would love that.
I am so excited to hear about that because I love running. I love running. My family is a runner. My dad, my aunt, like from generations, and it's just in me. And there's nothing better than that feeling when you are running and you are enjoying. But one of the things that I learned in my journey when I was running, when I was a little younger and maybe a little, in a better shape, let's put it that way. When my daughter was my little one, she was about not even a year old. I remember taking my oldest daughter to school and then going to the park with the stroller, taking my little one, and then run for 4 to 6 miles 6 times a
Oh,
week.
wow. That's amazing.
I'm telling you, like I was committed and I loved it. But things change. We change
It does.
locations, and then life happens. And then I couldn't keep up with that routine. But there's nothing more liberating than being able to run. And one of the things I learned my way, because I didn't have any, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like,
Right?
it feels right for me, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. And little by little I started like doing some research. I got the right shoes. That changed the game for me, let me tell you.
Really?
And I got super excited. I was so fit. I loved it. And I'm trying right now to regain that not the passion. The passion hasn't left me, but that routine that I had in the past. And oh my goodness, I am so excited to learn more about you. We're going to get in contact. You
It-
guys, if you are thinking in getting in shape by the end, no, not even by the end of the year, this can
Oh,
be
it
done
doesn't
like
take that
right
long.
now.
No, no. And it is.
Absolutely.
Right. It's honestly, like you said, getting into a routine is probably the biggest challenge for most people. It's tough to say, I am going to prioritize myself above everything else that's going on to make this happen. But I think with the right, if you can have the intent that, okay, this is important to me. I am going to carve out 30 minutes. I'm going to get up just a smidge early and I'm going to make this happen. And to do that on a consistent basis. And with the program, I try to teach some tips and techniques to help get you out the door on a regular basis because it is tough. I totally recognize that. But consistency really, if we can get to a place where it just becomes part, like you said, it was just part of your daily routine, right? It was what you did. That's the goal, is to make it feel like it's just, this is what I do. Just as if you go to your job or you go to the grocery store, this is what you do, which is fantastic.
Without even thinking, you
Right.
know that you put your shoes, you get out of the door, and you go do your thing. And here's the thing. I do most of my clients are also females, and one of the things that I have noticed with most of us is that we have been pre-programmed to take care of everybody else
100%.
and then you.
Correct.
What do you do when you see a little girl and a little boy? You give the boy a truck, you give the little girl a doll,
Right.
so she can take care of something. So we have been pre-programmed since we were little kids to take care of something or someone, and then you.
Correct. You're always at the bottom of the list, right?
That's right. That's right.
But how well do you think you show up for other people whether it's your family, your friends, if you aren't taking care of yourself first.
Absolutely. And I always say this to my husband, you cannot pour from an empty cup. I cannot
100%.
give you something I don't have. Period.
Hey,
If I'm feeling miserable with myself, if I'm not happy, then that's exactly what you're getting from me. Everything connects with that feeling and what's inside of you. And you're going to reflect that how you talk to people,
yes,
how you lead your team, how you are leading your business, how you talk to your clients. So everything starts really with you. And it's so interesting because I was listening your story, and it is so powerful when I find ladies that are coming from the 9 to 5, the corporate America world, because it is its own world
it is
out there,
very true.
and have the will to say, this is not me and I am done. It takes a lot of courage. People don't realize this. It
It
takes
does.
a lot, especially when you have been in that environment for so long and then you start realizing, whoa, this is toxic. This is not me. I'm not okay with that. Yet I have to do it because they're paying me, right? And it takes a lot of courage to do that. And then on top of that, say, I'm gonna do what makes me happy, right? Like starting your own business.
Right.
It is very scary though.
It is
It is very, very scary. Because, a lot of people come to me and they're like, oh no, but you weren't scared. And I'm like, I don't know who say that, how you came up with that view of me, but I'm like, I was scared and I am still scared to do certain things or take certain decisions in my business, but I do it anyway. That's the only thing that I do differently from most people, is that I take fear by its hand and let's go and do it,
right. I think
regardless of the feeling.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people, you can be uncomfortable, you can be miserable, but it's a known entity. Whereas going into the unknown and thinking of what it could be and that fear, it's super intimidating to think about that. So a lot of people just stay in the miserable because it's a consistent, it's a known versus the
Right.
unknown.
That's right. That's
And
right.
I think for myself, I just got to a point where looking at where I am in my life, that is not how I wanted to spend my days. And it wasn't worth the paycheck. And I was fortunate enough that I could step away. I know that not everyone can, but I would just encourage anyone who is in that spot of not miserable, not happy. There is something in your gut telling you there's something better out there, to look for it, whether it's being an entrepreneur or it's a new job or a new environment. If you're not happy and you feel that feeling, that pit in your stomach, it's not worth it. You're meant to be happy. We're all meant to be happy.
Exactly. But again, we have been pre-programmed to live life in a certain way. What do? You go to school, you graduate from a college, you have to have a job because you have to pay for the loan, right? The student loan. And then you find a job that end up you're hating because nobody told you in school what you were good at. You just thought, okay, let's get this career because I'm gonna make money, right? And then you start going into the same cycle, work for 40 years for somebody else, make them money, and then retire. And then by the time you semi have some type of freedom, you don't have your youth.
Correct.
Like it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, why would
Why
you?
do we wait?
Why? And I'm telling you, like the way I talk to my clients is like, you don't wait. Who's telling you that you have time? You don't. We don't know how much time we have left. Why are you spending your time, the only currency that we have, that we spend without ever knowing its balance? So why would you waste that in something that you're not enjoying? Life is supposed to be enjoyable,
Completely. And I
not miserable. But again, we have been pre-programmed to see life in a certain way, pushing and struggling, and money so hard to get, and I'll never be wealthy because I don't earn enough. And it's just this cycle of pending doom and especially with women, because I don't have anything against men. Don't get me wrong. I love my husband. He's been my number one fan, my supporter. I love him to death. But women, we have been trained the opposite way. And this is in our DNA. Unless you become aware of what you want in life and you do something to change, nothing will happen because everything starts with you. So I love the fact that you merge the sport, the running with mindset. And that's something that really catch my eye with you, because I don't think I have seen any other type of coach that coach in both areas, because I always feel that if nothing changes in your mindset, nothing will really change in your environment, because whatever you have in your mind is putting your body into action, which is the one thing that will produce the results.
Right. Mindset is so important. You could be the best runner in the world, the fastest, but if your mindset and your thoughts are not in the right place to set you up to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve, you're not going to get there. But even on a day-to-day basis, it goes back to what you just described. It's about being intentional, coming to a run with the intent of, this is my time. Yes, I'm tired. Yes, I'm frustrated. I'm going to recognize that I am these things. I'm going to go on this run and I'm going to shake it all off. And by the end, stay open to how I might feel on the other side of all of it. It's that mindset piece that can really unlock how well we show up for ourselves. And I think that combining movement with those mindset techniques, it just kind of amplifies where you can go with it. Because working out, it releases all of these chemicals, these neurotransmitters in our body that go straight to our brain to help make us happy. It has actually been proven that it helps prevent anxiety, helps prevent depression. There's so many things that are working for us when we move our body. And then if you're consciously working on your mindset, there is just this ability to unlock so much more potential, not just for a 5K. Yes, this program is about like running a 5K, but it's so much more than that. It's about learning the skills that you can then take into your life to help you shape whatever it is you want to achieve. But to recognize some of those techniques this is the story I'm telling myself. Okay, how can I change this? And really focus and work on that mindset piece.
And it's so interesting because I remember when I used to run in the morning, I used to do laps around my neighborhood. I was like on a play mode. I was like boom boom boom, boom. And people used to see me with my girl, and I remember feeling tired and say one more lap, and then that lap,
It's amazing.
one more lap, and then what is a mental game. It becomes a mental game, like running, especially because when I was younger, many months ago, I competed for bodybuilding for, oh my God, not bikini, the other one. Can't remember. I'm telling you, it's been a long time. And figure competitor. And I love lifting and I love that environment, but it's very different from running. Running became such a passion because the way I was able to push my mindset, that it really allowed me to understand myself, my capabilities, and my limits. And that is such a beautiful thing when it comes to running. It makes you feel free. And what would you say to somebody that is thinking, okay, I need to move. I don't like walking. I'm thinking in running, but I have never done it. What would you tell to that person, that woman that is out there maybe listening to this,
Yes.
and they're like, I don't know what to do, maybe it's not for me? What would you say to them to make them put them into action?
Right. I would say, I think the biggest thing is to just give it a try, give it a shot, push outside your comfort zone. Take that first step is the hardest, 100%, but if you take it. I know some people don't like to run, some people don't like to walk, but a approach of both of those two. So if you do a short run and then you take a short walk break and then you run in a short walk break, that's a very common way to build up your endurance so that it's not so intimidating. That's the beauty of running. At any point you can stop and you can walk. You don't have to push so hard that it's uncomfortable. And I think that's one of the main reasons people will say, I hate running. they push way too hard. They go out fast and it's hard to breathe. You get a side stitch and then they end up hating it. Running slow is one of the best things you can do to build your endurance, to take that first step. I also just think running, it's so tangible. It is really an easy sport to get into. Strength training, going to the gym, that can seem so intimidating to some people, especially if you don't know what you're doing. But with running, you can just lace up your shoes, head out the door, and make it happen for yourself. It's a very doable sport. So I would just encourage anyone who's thinking about it to just take that first step, give it a try. Don't go too hard. Take it nice and easy. Take a walk break if you need to, but just take that first step. And then if they need more help, they can come see me.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, that's why you train people to do that.
Absolutely. I will help you every step of the way. Of course.
Because it is so liberating. I'm telling you, like, I wish more people will go out there and run, even though I'm personally right now running in a treadmill. But the feeling of going out there and allowing yourself to get some sun, to get, to see the scenery, to see the families walking, to see the trees, it's just an
Nature. Absolutely.
experience. When you start like working out and you are at the gym, it's very sterile type of environment, I feel. But when you go out there and run and enjoy everything at once, is the whole thing is just a package. So if you ask me, you are enjoying, you're getting sun, you're getting vitamin D, you are exercising, you are getting fitter, you are getting healthier, and it's just a win-win situation. And like you said, it's so easy to get into. The hardest thing, as you mentioned, yes, is to say, I'm going to do it, and then you go ahead and do it. To make the committed decision.
Right. You just described so many things that are pros of getting out and running. And it's also the feeling that you have at the end of the run. Once you can get through a
Yes.
10-minute run, even 5 minutes, pay attention to how you feel after a run and be very conscious of it and carry it with you. I feel that is one of the best ways to motivate yourself to do it the next day, is to think about how great you feel and all of the things that you just described. I'm going to go out in nature. I'm going to get some sun. All of that as a motivator for heading out the next day. Because yes, you might, yeah, I'm so tired. Oh, I don't know if I have time. But if you can think back to how good you're going to feel when you finish it, that's a great way to stay motivated and try to get into a consistent routine with it.
Absolutely. I remember I used to wake up at 5 in the morning back in the day. 5 in the morning when I couldn't go after dropping off my daughter and take that run. I used to wake up at 5 in the morning and just go by myself in the neighborhood. And I remember going, I don't know, I'm telling you, like for me, it's like in my DNA. When I'm doing it, I don't feel tired. It is so weird. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not sure. Because I keep going and then I keep going and then I feel okay. And then my husband
Great.
is like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I run 6 miles." He's like, "Why were you doing that?" I'm like, "Because I can." That's why.
Right. I love that saying, because I can.
Right? It's like, I don't
Absolutely.
know. It felt good. It felt right for me. Maybe for some people, running the first mile is gonna be such an accomplishment. Then that is right for you. So I think this journey of learning about yourself, learning your limits, and then learning how to overcome those limiting beliefs that you may have and then going for more. I
Yes.
think it's just like the essence of who we are that makes you think and feel, what if I run 5 more minutes? What if I do it an extra mile? What if I go for another, for extra, and then that's how you know how far you can push yourself, to do more. Because I think this is our purpose in life, is to create, is to experience, is to start learning more about yourself. What can you do and how can you do more? And I think that's why the corporate jobs feels so sterile because you're not really creating, you're staying in one space and you are just basically following instructions and then doing, you're not creating, you're not being you, and it feels like jail. I mean, if you ask me. And and some people will say to me, yeah, but what about benefits? And I'm like, benefits is another word that will kill your dreams.
100%. I listen, that was one of the main things I thought about
There we go.
before I left.
There we go.
It is, I call them the golden handcuffs, right? The longer you stay
Yay!
in corporate America, the harder it is to step away from it because there are so many perks and incentives that they build in that make it harder to walk away from those types of things. I think with it, there needs to come almost a level of curiosity, right?
Right.
Curious of what is on the other side, curious of what you can do, curious of what you can achieve, what you can create. That has to be there for you to step out and to do something different. And if you can come from a place of that, there's so much opportunity in front of you.
Absolutely. And I think that's why it's so important to have a coach. If you would have asked me 3 years ago about hiring a coach, I would have laughed at you and said, "Ah, I'm not wasting my money on that. Like a coach? Like what? Why?" You know. But because 3 years ago, that's when I opened my first business, and I opened my business with a business coach, and that changed the game for me. I said, "Whoa." This is how you do it. Okay. So from that point on up until now, I had so many coaches in so many different areas. And that's what I bring to my clients is like the knowledge that I have learned in 3 years compressed those three
Right.
years in a few lessons that I will give you when you become my client. And that's what a coach does. You are putting your knowledge into compressed time modules, lessons in a 6 weeks program.
8 weeks.
Is
Yeah, it's 8 weeks.
8 weeks, and you have all the experience, you have all the knowledge compressed in those 8 weeks with somebody that is going to be looking at you from a different perspective because you all can only see right here,
Right.
right? You can only see so far. But when you have somebody else looking at you and seeing, okay, you're doing this wrong because of this, and then you're being able to open your eyes to something more and then fix whatever that needs to be fixed and then improve your results. It's just such a beautiful thing if you
It is.
ask me. So yeah, everybody needs a coach. That's that's
Make
the
your life
headline.
easier, get a coach.
Right, invest. And some people is like, yeah, but I don't have the money, I don't have this, I don't have that. Listen, I opened my business, my first business, with $10 in my bank account. I had two daughters. I still have my daughters, of course, but they were little,
So, yeah,
which
yes,
makes
yes.
it more
More
difficult,
stressful, right?
more stressful, more difficult. I mean, one was in school, the other one was a baby. So if somebody's telling me I have no time, I have no money, I don't know what I'm doing, I was exactly in that situation. And I am here to tell you, you're not doing it because you don't want to. You haven't taken the decision, the committed decision to move forward with whatever idea you have or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, I do believe that we all need a coach.
Right.
A coach.
It's the knowledge that the coach brings, right, from all the years of experience. It's also an accountability partner, someone just to kind of hold you to what you said you were going to do. But I also think it's also someone who's there to support you. I think sometimes we don't have enough confidence in ourselves and you just need a little bit of a boost from someone else while you work on this, right? Up level your own game, having that person in your corner, believing in you, giving you the tools you need to make your goals happen can make a huge difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's something that I've learned the hard way because at the beginning, you don't know that you don't know. That's the thing. And so when you have a second person telling you, okay, you are doing this wrong or you have to do this differently in order for you to improve the results. It's just such a beautiful thing. And in feeling that extra support of somebody that has done it or somebody that knows how to get there, it changes the game for you forever. It's such
100%.
a beautiful thing. So I think everybody needs a coach, whatever coach, a life coach, a fitness coach, a business
Right.
coach, mindset coach, manifestation coach. Go and get it.
I love
And
it. Yeah.
it's truly an investment. It's truly an investment. And like I said, 3 years ago, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what that means. And I didn't know what that was going to bring to my life. Not only my life, because once you enter into this entrepreneurship life, it has a ripple effect into your husband, your spouse, your significant
Yes.
other,
It
your
does.
family is going to extend, and you might even extend to future generations. Maybe you are the first person that is going to create generational wealth in your family.
Yes.
You're going to be impacting so many generations in the future that you don't know. And this is a beautiful thing because you can create absolutely anything. You just need the courage to go out and do it. And when you have a coach, you're not only buying the knowledge, you're buying time.
Yes.
You're buying time.
Very much so.
I remember when I started my first business, I was like, okay, I have $10 in my bank account and I need about $10,000 to start my business. And it's going to take me about 5 years to get that money to start my business. I said to me, I don't have the time. I don't have another 5 years to kind of figure things out and then move forward with my idea. I told myself, this is insanity. I don't even know if I have 5 years of life. Right?
It's true.
So
Nothing's
when you
guaranteed.
and I'm like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get my $10,000 so I can start my business. And I did. It only takes that committed decision, but it has to be something that tells you from inside that you can do it, and then
Yes.
commit to it, and then move with such conviction, knowing that it's going to happen. Because as an entrepreneurs, we are always walking in the dark. We are. Is it gonna
There's
work? Oh, we don't know.
a lot of unknowns.
How you know? I just know. Just take my word for it. Like that's what my husband keeps asking me. How do you know that it's gonna work? I'm like, I just know. Yeah, but how? I'm like, I don't need to know the how. I just know that it's going to work. And so moving and taking every single step and every single step basically in your journey is everything is in the dark. You don't know how, you don't know when, you just know and walk with faith. But having a coach is gonna close so many gaps in your journey. Buying time, you're buying the knowledge and compressing everything, the time and knowledge into one that is going to take you, as a client into a higher journey and faster by having a coach. It's a win-win situation, and this is an investment. You're not spending money, you are investing in yourself, especially for women. I have gotten this saying or reply many times and say, yeah, but let me talk to my husband. And I'm like, I understand that, but like, you are you. Like, you have to make the committed decision regardless of what your husband says.
Right. That's right.
If he's supporting you, he'll support you in every way, but you must have that conviction of knowing that you're going to do it regardless. And that's the thing with women. We have been taught to depend on somebody else to take your decisions, right? Because you're always depending on someone. We are being trained like that. So like I said, women, we have been left behind. Things are changing though nowadays. And I'm very happy to see that because I have two daughters. And the last thing I want them to see, and this is one of the reasons why I move forward with my business. Because I thought to myself, how hypocritical it is for me to tell my daughters, go ahead and do whatever you want, honey. You have everything. Really? But did I do it? Then that's the question. So it's like how in this alignment that is me telling my daughter something that I'm not able to do. And that's something that really make me think and rethink my life. And I'm like, I'm going to show them the way. And then I'm going to teach them how they can do it. And then we can talk. I'm not going to be like, most people in school and they're like, oh no, yes, you can do everything. Go ahead. You can.
But you're modeling this for them. You're showing them, you're being the example. They see this every day with what you're doing, which is amazing and
Yeah,
inspiring.
absolutely. I mean, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it because it is possible. And I want you all to understand everything is possible for you. You just need to have the courage to do it. You took one of the best decisions ever. And I know you know that it just opens your eyes for so much more. It is not easy. It is not easy. Like one of my coaches said to me, if it was easy, everybody else will do it. And just for you to know, only 3% of the population will do what we are doing. Three. You get 100 people in one room, get three out of the 100. Those are the three people that are going to move forward with their dreams. Three. It's scary,
It
but
is.
that's the truth. And it's because it is a hard journey, but it's worth it because you can create anything that you want for you and your family. You are creating that ripple effect that is gonna impact so many lives in your future generations. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. And you're leading by example.
Right. 100%.
Jen, I am so happy you were able to join me here today.
Thank you
I
so much
am
for having me.
absolutely anytime, and we're gonna be talking about the training.
There we
I
go.
am super, super interested in for everybody that is out there listening to this. And if you want to get in shape, if you want to push yourself to be the best version of you, because it is, starts with you. And you know, I'm more on the coaching business coaching side, but I am here to tell you the money vibration vibrates at the same level of self care. If you want more money, you need to take care of yourself. That's where everything starts. You want to live longer? Take care of yourself. You want to be a better take care of yourself. You want to be a better mom? Take care of yourself. That's where the beauty starts. And look no further, we have Jen that will take care of
That's
you.
right. Here to
And
help.
right? And I can even imagine all the beautiful information that you have out there because I feel your soul, your energy, and it's so enjoyable. And you want somebody like that, somebody that is gonna greet you with a big smile, warmth, competence, and knowledge, and is gonna be your cheerleader. And I'm telling you, Jen
Absolutely.
is the one.
Well, thank
Jen is
you.
definitely
Yes.
the
Come
one.
talk to me.
Absolutely. Jen, again, thank you so very much again for sharing your story, for sharing all these wonderful tips. And I'm gonna have your information in the comments. I'm gonna share your information on all social media. So if you want to get in contact with Jen, go ahead and do your research. It's gonna be in the comments down below. And thank you so very much, Jen, again. Next time we'll have another wonderful entrepreneur. And but today, Jen was the highlight of the day. Absolutely, Jen.
Thank you so
I'll see
much.
you. You're very welcome, and we'll stay in touch. And thank you all
Okay.
for listening to this wonderful interview. And I'll talk to you next time.